On the 20th of February 2001, a high-speed rail crash occurred on the East Coast Main Line near a small village in Heck, just south of Selby in North Yorkshire. The circumstances around the crash are both tragic and unusual. The UK railway is one of the oldest and most safest in the world. Between the 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024, there were 420 million train journeys in the UK. The most commonly known sections of the UK railway is the West and East Coast Main Line. The West Coast Main Line runs from London Euston to Glasgow Central. The line is a mixture of 2, 4 and 6 track railway. It's 399 miles long, serves 46 stations and originally opened back in 1837. The incident at Great Heck took place on the East Coast Main Line. It runs between London King's Cross and Edinburgh Waverley in Scotland. The line is a mixture of 2 and 4 track railway. It's 393 miles long and was originally constructed back in the 1840s. The line speed on both the East Coast and West Coast Main Line is up to 125 miles per hour. In the area where the crash occurred, there are 2 tracks, up trains towards London, down trains towards Edinburgh. The line speed of this particular area is 125 miles per hour. Part of the M62 motorway runs over the top, separated by a road bridge. At 04:45 hours, 1 Foxtrot 23 departed Newcastle Station bound for London King's Cross with 99 passengers and staff on board. The driver of 1 Foxtrot 23 was a 47-year-old man. The weather in the area was grey and overcast, which is typical for the time of year. At the time of day, there were fewer numbers of passengers that morning. Newcastle Station is the busiest in the north of England. Not only is it located on the East Coast Main Line, but it also provides an interchange for local metro services. London King's Cross is located at the edge of central London. It's one of the biggest and busiest transport hubs with mainline and underground services. 1 Foxtrot 23 was an Intercity 225. It was propelled by a Class 91 locomotive and led by a driving van trailer, or DVT. The train was originally designed to operate at up to 140 miles per hour, but they were limited and restricted to 125 due to the lack of in-cab signalling and limitations of overline head equipment. The Intercity 225 were introduced into service between 1989 and 1991. The second train involved in this story was 6 Golf 34, the 0500 Immingham to Ferrybridge. It was being driven by a 39-year-old man, and at the time he was route learning with an instructor. 6 Golf 34 was a freight train operated by Freightliner, hauled by a Class 66 locomotive and fully laden with 1,000 tons of coal. The port of Immingham, also known as Immingham Dock, is a major port on the east coast of England. Located on the south bank of the Humber estuary in the town of Immingham, Lincolnshire, in 2019, the port of Grimsby in Immingham was the largest port in the United Kingdom by tonnage, with 54.1 million tonnes of cargo passing through that year. 6 Golf 34 was delivering coal to Eggborough Power Station. The power station was located in Nottingley in North Yorkshire. The plant was responsible for providing electricity to 2 million homes. The power station closed in 2019 and the site was eventually demolished on the 24th of July 2022. Earlier that morning, at approximately 04:40 hours, a severely fatigued car driver commenced a planned journey between Strubby in Lincolnshire to Wigan with a total distance of 145 miles. Part of the journey included the M62 motorway, located in the north of England. The motorway crosses the country from east to west and connects various northern towns and cities. The 37-year-old male driver had been awake for over 20 hours due to personal and work-related stresses. He was driving a Land Rover that was pulling a trailer loaded with another car. The car driver could never have known the horror that was about to unfold. Even though the driver of 6 Golf 34 was route learning that day, both journeys involving 1 Foxtrot 23 and 6 Golf 34 were typical. Countless trains would pass through the area of Heck daily. Minutes before 0613 hours, due to his severe fatigue, the driver of the Land Rover fell asleep at the wheel. He and his vehicle left the M62 motorway, travelled down a nearby embankment, and within seconds the Land Rover was stuck on the track and fully obstructing the upline of the East Coast Main Line. Now this would have been a frightening situation. The driver of the Land Rover was unable to move the car clear of the track, and within seconds the inevitable happened. At 0613 hours, travelling at around 125 miles per hour, 1 Foxtrot 23 crashed into the car and trailer. The sound of the crash was captured during an emergency call from the driver of the Land Rover to the emergency services. The driver of 1 Foxtrot 23 sounded the horn, but due to the high speed of the train and the proximity of the obstruction, a collision was entirely unavoidable. Due to the speed of 1 Foxtrot 23, it continued forward. While partially derailed, it continued for 700 metres. Evidence suggests that a set of points caused the train to become deflected on the downline directly into the path of 6 Golf 34. Immediately prior to the impact of the two trains, the closing speed of both trains involved in the incident is estimated at 142 miles per hour. What was left was a scene of utter devastation. The leading derailed locomotives and 2 wagons from 6 Golf 34 flattened a caravan and a garage on the grounds of a nearby house. The house itself was not actually struck by the wagons. North Yorkshire Police received numerous emergency calls relating to the incident. The information was passed to BTP, allowing a multi-agency response. It's worth noting that the final report highlights an effective and well-organised response from the emergency services that day, given the remote location. After initial scene investigations were completed, the removal of the damaged vehicles commenced on Sunday the 4th of March through to the 7th of March 2001. The line was handed back to Railtrack on the 7th of March, allowing for damaged infrastructure to be repaired. The line was eventually reopened to traffic on Tuesday the 13th of March 2001. On the 13th of December 2001 at Leeds Crown Court, after an investigation involving North Yorkshire Police, the BTP and the Health and Safety Executive, the driver of the car and trailer was convicted of 10 charges of causing death by dangerous driving. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison and received a 5-year driving ban. He was subsequently released in 2004 after serving half of his sentence. The precise mechanics of how the Land Rover ended up on the railway tracks were thoroughly investigated by authorities following the crash. It was determined that the driver's prolonged period of wakefulness and subsequent falling asleep at the wheel were the primary factors leading to this incident.